Audiobook Academy. Book Summary. The Diary of a Young Girl. By Anne Frank. Anti-Semitism during World War II was exposed in Anne Frank's journal, one of the most horrifying testimonials of the time. The Great War. When Anne Frank was 13 years old, she was given a diary. The day after her birthday, she began writing down all of her events from June 12, 1942 until August 1, 1944. After it was made public, her diary served as the inspiration for a slew of stage productions and film adaptations. On June 12, 1942, Anne Frank, then 13 years old, celebrated her 13th birthday with a party. It all began with a diary that she received as a birthday gift. Because she lacked a close companion with whom to discuss her innermost thoughts and feelings, she took it upon herself to document them in a diary. As a result, even though she has a sibling who is 3 years older than her parents, and other relatives, she often feels isolated because no one understands her and her mother acts as if she were Margot's buddy. However many people were around her, she could not form any meaningful relationships with them. When her father was offered a position in the Netherlands in 1933, the family decided to move there. Anti-Semitism raged against all of my relatives who remained in Germany. It is after 1940 that the war reaches the Jewish people who were standing in Hitler's path. Many regulations imposed on the Jews made them second-class citizens, denying them many of their privileges. Public locations like movie theaters and malls were off limits, as was shopping in certain stores at specified times of day. To ensure their safety, they were told to return home by 8 p.m. and to put the Star of David on their shirts. Since hiding in a building where her father worked after the 9th of July, 1942, when the people who worked with her father helped them discover a refuge where Jews were sent to concentration camps during World War II, Anna's family has called their new home the Secret Sanctuary. On August 13 of that year, the Van Daan family joined the Franks since they had nowhere else to go and were in need of a place to stay for a time. They brought their lone kid, Peter, along with them, and Anna didn't think much of him at first. For a while, it seemed like a wonderful idea to bring in the new family. It was as if they were all part of one large happy family. Conflicts and tensions arose as a result of so many individuals crammed into such a limited space. As time went on, the situation deteriorated and irritation grew between those who couldn't afford to take a break. Anna's relationship with her father, her mother, and Miss Van Daan became increasingly tense. Time flew by, yet there was nowhere to put it. In the meantime, Anna and Peter continued their education by taking courses in English and French. He was an accomplice of her father's, Mr. Coophius, who covertly delivered a book from the library to them. Peter and his father got into an argument over an improper book because he didn't just buy them books for kids. Anna's father started constructing a family tree with her since she loved history and mythology, and she greatly enjoyed it. Meanwhile, on the streets, the Franks and Van Daans are safe from harm. A large number of people are transported to camps aboard trucks. Streets and camps are hazardous places for Jews, and many may never return. The 8th renter will move in on November 17. He introduced himself as Dr. Albert Dussel, a dentist. It was determined that he would be sleeping in Anna's room because he appeared to be a pleasant older gentleman. Anna began to notice that he wasn't as pleasant as he seemed and that he was annoyed by Anna, who always spoke her mind, as the years went by. After an argument about how often Anna wanted to use her desk, they ended up fighting over it. In the end, she had to seek her father for support, and he sided with her. Because of the large number of attendees and the limited amount of available space, it was necessary to establish certain ground rules to keep things under control. Their bedtime was 10 o'clock and their wake-up hour was 7:30, except on holidays and on Sundays, when it was 10:30. For the sake of their privacy, they had to keep their conversation secret. After 6 p.m., the radio was available for listening. Everything but German radio stations was listened to by them. As the news dictated, they didn't have a set time for dinner. They could only take a shower on Sunday mornings, which was a rarity in those days. It was a difficult and regulated existence. As things worsened, unrest spread throughout the population. Robberies grew commonplace, and an attempt was made to infiltrate the building where they were camped out. Everyone was in a state of panic. There was a good risk that the police would find them and send them to prison if they entered the building. Even if she no longer sat around the table, Anna still craved a close friend she could confide in. Peter turned out to be that person for her. Her perception of him grew stronger the longer they were together. She wrote in her diary that she was worried she would bore him to tears, but the reality was quite the reverse. Peter was smitten with her, and a new romance was started. It was clear to both of them that this was no longer a friendship. After sending Kitty a letter on August 1, 1944, Anna's diary is finished. She talks about how she's a sarcastic, and sarcastic girl at the same time. Because nearly no one has ever met her before, she claims, everyone thinks she's a far worse person than she really is. She and her father's co-workers were taken away from the refuge on the 4th of August by the police and sent to concentration camps. In 1945, Anna succumbed to typhus in one of them. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. See you in next video.